Hi, everyone. It's Tiara. And first of all, I want to say thank you for stopping by and just taking time out of your busy schedule to see me and to hear what I have to say. So it's story time. When I was a little girl, I did not grow up with my mother and father in the same house. I grew up in a single parent house, so I was raised by my mother. There were influences, and she did get a little bit of help from my grandparents. However, she did do most of the raising me on her own. So, Mom, if you're watching this, I just want to say thank you and I love you. And I'm glad that I had the opportunity to pick you to be my mom. So, like I said, single parent household. My mom, she worked a lot. She helped so many people, and I believe that has shaped the way that I strive to live my life. I don't know if you all have heard the saying that this person would give the shirt off of their back. That's my mom. And I absolutely love her and adore her giving spirit, her caring spirit, and just how much she cares for so many people. So bless you, Mom. I love you for that. I remember I was at a birthday party. I don't know how old you guys are, but I was at a birthday party when I was a little girl, and it was at McDonald's. And, back in the day, in the play area, it was outside, and it had like the little bars up to keep you from, getting out into the traffic and things. And so I can't remember how old I was, but I just remember seeing this white car pull up, and it was a convertible. And I got so excited because I was like, oh, that's my dad. And so I ran up as far as I could go, and I remember, like, let me see, grabbing the bars and like looking through, and I was like, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy. And he never turned around. And I have not spoken to him about this, but that was a day that I cannot seem to get out of my head. That was a day that I felt rejected and I did not feel loved. I did not feel visible. And even as a child, like a little child, it kind of crushed my spirit. And wow, um, no, I'm good, baby. Thank you. Um, it still it still hurts, and I just remember, even now, and especially like coming up and being a teenager. Thank you. Just thinking about that and never feeling like I was worth anything and never feeling like I could hold the attention of anyone without doing things that I didn't want to do, being the loud one, the crazy one, the one that just did, almost anything for attention. So that event kind of shaped a lot of the things that I did throughout my childhood and even into my adulthood. Um, I have yet to talk about this with my father, but I am grateful that, you know, we actually have a relationship. And a few years ago, I spoke to my father and my mother separately, and by phone because I wasn't close enough to see them face to face. But I told both of them that I forgive them, that I was holding some things in my heart against them that they probably didn't even know about. And so I was blaming them and my upbringing on a lot of the things that I was doing wrong in my own life. And I apologize for that. And I also asked for their forgiveness because whether they knew it or not, I was holding those things in my heart. And it kind of prevented me from opening up to them the way that I wanted to. And so forgiveness is really important. Forgiveness is a big thing. And, it may be someone that is not here anymore. You're not able to seek them out for forgiveness or seek them out to offer your forgiveness. But that's something that you still can work on. You still can get past it, and you can you can live a life that is fulfilling. But forgiveness is important, and even forgiving yourself is very important. So, what you can take away from this story time is that, things happen in our lives and we carry those things with us and they become our burdens. They become the things that keep us from really achieving, really moving forward with what we want to do, or they keep us stuck in a place of unforgiveness. And so if you need to forgive yourself, I would tell you to start there. There are a lot of things that I did and I ultimately hated myself for, and I had to forgive myself for those things. I brought them on myself, and I had to forgive myself, and it was really hard. I ponder on why it's so hard for us to forgive ourselves, but when it comes to someone else, we're quicker to forgive them. So it starts with you. Forgive yourself. And then if there is someone that you can reach out to, that you feel like you need to reach out to offer forgiveness or to seek out forgiveness, if there's something in your heart that you feel like you want to do, then I would say go forward, go for it. But you don't have to speak to that person unless you absolutely have that desire. I have written letters to myself and to other people that I wanted to either give forgiveness to or ask them to forgive me, handwritten letters. Um, some people I spoke to, like my parents, and other people, like with myself, it was easier for me to write um, and just, think about what it looks like, what it feels like for me to forgive me, and what is on the other side of forgiveness. And then also to understand that if you do seek that person out for to offer forgiveness or to ask for forgiveness, they may not be in a place to receive it. They may not be receptive of what you're trying to do and what you're trying to say, and you have to be okay with that. It's almost like you're opening up a wound only to have like salt thrown in it when the results that you want are not given. So let's say you ask for forgiveness and either they tell you, stay away from me. Why are you trying to talk to me? I have nothing to say to you. You're dead to me. Yes, that can like reopen some wounds, that can set off some things. So I want you to be prepared mentally that if that happens, at least you tried. So if I could leave you with anything, I would say one of the first steps in healing myself was the forgiveness aspect of a lot of things. Like I told you a few years ago when I reached out to my parents, I knew there was a lot of changes that I had already started to make, and I knew that there was a lot of things in my life that I wanted to be different. I had started this journey of being transparent, regardless of how I feel in that moment or how other people might feel in that moment. And there are ways to do things and ways to say things and, ways to be respectful and still be transparent and get your point across. But I knew, and this was maybe 5 years ago, that that forgiveness part was so important. And for me, I have, completely forgiven myself now, but it was not easy because there were so many layers, so many things that I did even as a little girl, that I was like, oh my gosh, I ruined my life. I did things that, well, I thought ruined my life, but um, being honest, it didn't ruin my life. They were experiences and they were things that I have learned from, whether was good or bad. It was an experience, and it happened. So yeah, where my healing started was forgiveness. So I really pray that you seek that out, whatever that looks like for you. It may not be the same for you. My story and my journey is not your story or your journey. And I want you to be okay with that. If your forgiveness looks like writing a letter and then putting it in the shredder or burning that letter or just tearing it up or I had so many things written down, so many letters, and when I felt like I was ready and when I was done with those things, I pulled them out of the notebook that they were in. I tore them up and then I put them in water until it was like pulp, right? And that gave me something like it just made me feel good because it was like, "Oh, this is done. Let's move, okay? That's done." So, your forgiveness journey may not be you having that conversation with someone. It may be writing a letter, or it may be writing a poem or something just get it up out of your system because sometimes we hold on to so many things and it's like if I don't let this go, I'm going to explode. I don't know about you all, but that's how I felt. Like I have to let this stuff go or it's going to kill me. And I use the word kill because it felt like I was going to explode. Like you can't hold on to so much stuff and not have it come up in so many different ways. Like I, you know, had depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts, anger, guilt, shame. And it's like, when does it stop? When am I going to be happy? What does happy look like for me? What does peace look like for me? What does forgiveness look like for me? So whatever you have to do to get to that sweet spot, that forgiveness, then you do that, because that's the first step in finding you, in finding peace, in finding joy and love and happiness. You guys be blessed.